Good morning, Uganda. TGIF, thank God it's a Friday. Rainy one though, but it's still okay. Quite chilly, and I hope you're safe and sound. But so good to be here on this final day of the week. And I'm Julie F. Nataba Musisi, and the week has been interesting, definitely with Omeme leaving Uganda and leaving us with light that is from UEDCL, but also Trump's tariffs are making a whole word and a word around town. But I'm not alone. I am with Olive. Good morning, Olive.
Oh, good morning, Julie. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I am okay. It's a beautiful new day. We started with some rain towards 5.
Still raining.
It's still raining.
Yes.
By the time I arrived, it had stopped. But yeah, good morning, viewers. Good morning, Uganda. It's a beautiful thing that we are here today together to do what we do every single day with you.
I know. Now, the tariffs are very interesting because Trump is not stopping, and with whatever he is doing, it looks like there is a warming trade war. As he increases tariffs of imports to USA, other countries are also reciprocating with tariffs of imports from USA. And it's a whole war of words and threats of reciprocating.
Yeah.
Wonder what that is going to look like, but definitely with the dollar effect, looking at prices here in Uganda, I know we were given a 10% increase on our imports, and ours was 20%. China was given a 34% on top of the existing 20%.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and still looking at the tariffs, the European Union got a 20% on top of the existing 39%. And then I see Vietnam 46%, and then Japan 32%. India 24%, South Korea 25%, Switzerland 31%. So it's a whole lot of tariffs. And you say that there is a looming trade war. I think the war has already started. The war started on the 20th of January 2025 when he was signed, exactly, with his executive orders. There has been a lot of change and shift when it comes to tariffs, but I like that countries are pushing back. I don't know where Africa stands in all this, because in most cases for us we've been getting what some people call free money, though it's not really free.
Not really free.
Yeah, but the countries that are actively trading with the United States, I don't know where this is going to end really. I don't know if we will end up with, you remember in the 90s there was the Cold War. That was something totally different. But now with this trade war, it has dire effects on this 21st century. But we wait and see if there will be changes, because he's known for saying things and then turning around. Yes. So hopefully he turns around.
Indeed, and indeed we don't get free money because we also export, and so does the US import things to Africa. So let's.
But to what extent?
To what extent exactly? Yeah. Exactly. But at least they get to enjoy Ugandan coffee. But that aside, let's take a look at what is on our local scene, Olive.
So what's on our local scene? I see. What is happening on our local scene? One of the things that stood out for me, Julie, is that we had, I don't know if you saw something that came up in the ministry, with the new taxes, or rather the new monies that have been provided, where Parliament has learned that Mulago National Referral Hospital has been allocated only 17.7 billion shillings for the purchase of specialized medical supplies to treat the rest of Ugandans for a full year. However, Uganda Revenue Authority was given 18.2 billion shillings. Uganda Revenue Authority given 18.2 billion shillings for the purchase of medicines for its staff for the same year. So the rest of Uganda gets to share 17.7 billion. This is the money that is given to Mulago National Referral Hospital, but Uganda Revenue Authority 18 1.2 billion shillings. Does that even make sense?
It does not.
One bit.
I remember the ED saying that the ED of Molago Neonatal Hospital saying that it's running two hospitals in actual sense. It's running two hospitals, and that money is just not enough. It doesn't make sense. But you are watching Good Morning Uganda, and thank you so much for being a part of the show and joining in. A lot of things we do have for you in store, so please stay tuned as we bring it all to you in real time. But also looking at what is making headlines in the press, at least for today, Juba, Museveni moves into diffuse tension. And this is an AU team traveling to South Sudan to join peace efforts. And we see a picture there of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who is with his counterpart, Salva Kiir. And moving on to that story, we can see in the picture there, President Museveni with his counterpart in South Sudan, and aims to ease tensions between President Salva Kiir and Riek Machar. But moving on to what is on the local scene, it is about Nabanja's surprise. It was a scene of pure excitement at Lira City main market as Prime Minister Robina Nabanja, on the invitation of Woman MP and Health Minister Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, walked through these stalls handing out envelopes of cash, with the market chairperson Basil Edwoko identifying each recipient. The Prime Minister personally delivered 28 million shillings in just 1 hour. At some moment, the Prime Minister was swallowed by the crowds as news of her generosity spread. Vendors chanted praises for the NRM government, repeatedly shouting, "No change in jubilation." Many described the moment as unprecedented, saying it was the first time they had truly felt the presence of the government in their daily struggles. The woman behind the visit, Health Minister Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, spoke exclusively to UBC after the Prime Minister's departure, but while many celebrated, others missed out and were left disappointed. The event has drawn mixed reactions on social media, with some questioning the nature of such cash handouts. However, Dr. Acheng argues that this is a direct way of empowering small business owners. Now, looking at matters asset declaration, over 90% of government leaders have declared their incomes, assets and liabilities to the Inspectorate of Government as per the declaration period from 1st to 31st March 2025. This was revealed by Betty Kamia Turiomwe, the Inspector General of Government, during a media briefing on the performance of the March 2025 declaration of income, assets and liabilities by specified leaders at the Uganda Media Center in Kampala. Out of over 32,000 registered government leaders for March 2025 declaration, over 2,800 leaders submitted their declarations by 31st March 2025. And 34 entities made 100% declaration compliance, such as the Inspectorate of Government, Capital Markets Authority, Kawempe National Referral Hospital, among others, with 5 entities at less than 50% declaration rate, and a few leaders that refused to declare set to be summoned. Now, the Inspectorate of Government will conduct electronic verification of all declarations to identify leaders with high-risk declarations. Declaration of income, assets and liabilities is a legal requirement under the Constitution of Uganda, 1995, and the Leadership Code Act 33, and failure by a leader to submit a declaration to the IGG means that they are in a breach of the law and will be summoned. Now, looking at matters legal, Electoral Commission has a funding gap of 179 shillings to effectively conduct the forthcoming presidential, parliamentary and local council election 2026. Now, while appearing before the Legal Committee of Parliament, the chairperson Electoral Commission, Simon Byabakama, said the objective of conducting free and fair election is not only a responsibility of Electoral Commission, but other stakeholders acting within the law. Officials of Electoral Commission have appeared before the Legal Committee of Parliament to present their ministerial policy statements for financial year 2025-2026, and according to the budget projections for the financial year 2025-26, Electoral Commission asked for 774.62 billion shillings for election activities and was allocated 594.916 billion, hence a funding gap of 179.19 billion shillings. And that is what is on the local scene. But Olive, what do you have with you?
Well, Trump's tariffs send shivers across the world markets as economists warn of recession risk. President Donald Trump on Wednesday announced far-reaching new tariffs on nearly all U.S. trading partners, a 34% tax on imports from China and 20% on the European Union, among others, that threaten to dismantle much of the architecture of the global economy and trigger broader trade wars. Trump, in a Rose Garden announcement, said he was placing elevated tariff rates on a dozen of nations that run meaningful trade surpluses with the United States, while imposing a 10% baseline tax on imports from all countries in response to what he called an economic emergency. The action amounts to a historic tax hike that could push the global order to a breaking point. It kickstarts what could be a painful transition for many Americans as middle-class essentials such as housing, autos and clothing are expected to become more costly while disrupting the alliances built to ensure peace and economic stability. Now moving on to South Korea. South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol was ousted by the Constitutional Court on Friday, which upheld Parliament's impeachment motion over his short-lived imposition of martial law last year that sparked the country's worst political crisis in decades. With Yoon's ouster, a presidential election is required to take place within 60 days, according to the country's constitution. Prime Minister Han Duck-soo will continue to serve as acting president until the new president is inaugurated. Acting Chief Justice Moon Hyung-bae said violated his duty as president by taking actions that were beyond the powers given to him under the Constitution, and the effect of his actions was a serious challenge to democracy. Yoon committed a grave betrayal of the People's Trust, who are the sovereign members of the Democratic Republic, he said, adding, by declaring martial law, Yoon created chaos in all areas of society, the economy, and foreign policy. The ruling was unanimous among the 8 justices, Moon said. Now coming back to Africa, a protest march has been held in Zambia's capital, Lusaka, against a recent spate of reports of men raping children. Over the last 2 months, Zambians have been shocked by several cases of child rape, some of which resulted in death. Among the most horrific reports was that of a father allegedly raping his 7-year-old daughter while she was admitted to hospital for cancer treatment. There have also been reports of a 5-year-old allegedly being raped by a gang of 4 men, while another father was jailed for raping and infecting his 6-year-old with genital warts, a sexually transmitted infection. Zambia's Justice Minister, Princess Kasune Zulu, has called for the castration of child rapists as an extreme measure to deter perpetrators and protect children from abuse. Following the reports, civil society organizations, musicians, and individuals held a protest march on Thursday, calling for the government to amend the law to introduce tougher punishments for child rapists. Wow.
I know.
My God. But I agree, rapists need to be castrated.
Yep. And perhaps it will lead them to greater purpose in life.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yeah.
Do they even need purpose?
They do. But with that action, at least whatever forces them to take on that evil act is taken away and they're humbled.
Wow.
Sad indeed, but let's look at what is in the press. We have started off with the New Vision, and indeed the headline is Juba Museveni visiting Salva Kiir and moves into defuse tension. A picture there of President Museveni with President Salva Kiir there. But still in the New Vision, government to get 539 billion Uganda shillings from new taxes. And a very interesting one there. But also in the Beat is a picture of Patience Ozoko, a Nigerian actor who was in Uganda actually last weekend for the Icon Awards. Very interesting events that took on at the awards. Katanga Defense contests call data records. That is in the New Vision. And finally, premiere and screening of the Hidden documentary in the New Vision. Now looking at what's in the Daily Monitor, Umeme users left with big unpaid bill. Buyout cost, the $118.3 million paid to Umeme last Friday has been put on UEDCL's books of account as a loan to the company and will be recovered through end user tariff over a yet to be specified period. So get ready to pay that and pay for that. But still a picture there of President Museveni and President Salva Kiir as President Museveni visited South Sudan. Museveni tops military aid with visit to Salva Kiir. And Opio promoting Ugandan music in USA, that's in the scoop. And the lizard wonders there, maybe to give them more tactics. That is with President Museveni's visit to South Sudan. But still in the Daily Monitor, why economy grew by 5.3% in Q2 and many job opportunities there. But also listed banks give shareholders 375 billion Uganda shillings in dividends.
Well, Julie, when we cross over to Kenya, the Daily Nation says top security chiefs dance with politics, and they are still questioned. LSK demands an apology from police boss as leaders warn against alarming trend. But on the top security chiefs, Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja's speech in one of President William Ruto's political rallies in the ongoing tour of Mountain Kenya has triggered outrage over perceived dabbling in politics by security chiefs. This follows last week's utterances by Chief of Defense Forces General Charles Kahariri and the National Intelligence Service boss Nordin Haj, who warned against the Ruto must go slogan and the rise of divisive politics online, respectively. Still in the Daily Nation, Moi family farm loses geothermal license, and then inside many fights for control of city hospital. Then still in the Daily Nation, Trump stokes global trade war with tariffs. Kenyan woman seized in India with a 270 million cocaine haul. A bodyguard for all seasons, looking at the year 1995 when George Odo moved into Raila Odinga's fold. This was after the death of Jaramogi Odinga, Raila's father, in 1994. More details on that, you find them in the Citizen. Now a look at in the Daily Nation. Now a look at the Citizen. How Trump's global tariffs are set to impact Tanzania. Or still on that, starting tomorrow, all imports into the United States will be subject to tariffs of at least 10%. Economists in Tanzania have voiced concern that the decision could slow down global economic recovery. Then 256 billion in 2023-24, Tanzania exported to the United States goods worth 256 billion shillings, while imports from the US totaled 950 billion. Still in the Citizen, opposition united on election reforms, split on boycott call. Then World Bank unveils action plan on Rigro project. Mwana Click shortlisted for prestigious Africa Digital Award in the Citizen. And then in sport, Simba coach says comeback against Al Masry possible. And lastly, in the Citizen, PM's directives as government launches Blueprint 2 committees.
Well, very interesting news there. Thank you very much, Olive, for that. Now, this Friday, if you are a woman who wants to be empowered, today's show should tickle you pink. And if you are interested in Uganda's film industry, then your interest must be piqued. But also, if you love uplifting live performances, this show is yours. But taking a look at what is on the Gazette today, as of 4th April 2025, in there is the Commissioners for Oaths Act, Advocates Act, and the Marriage Act notice, the Mining and Minerals Act, the Education, Pre-Primary, Primary, and Post-Primary, and the Advocates Act, the Companies Act, the Electricity Act, Copyright and Neighboring Rights, the Police Control Private Security Organization Regulations Notices, the Police Act Notice, and the Trademarks Act, Alteration of Registered Mark, and the Trademark Act, Registration of Applicants, the Engineers Registration Act Notice, the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act Notice, and supplements there, the Petroleum Transmission and Mainstream Storage Amendment Regulations 2025, the Traffic and Road Safety Speed of Motor Vehicles Temporary Maximum Speed Limit Order 2025, and the Copyright and Neighboring Rights Amendment Bill 2025. And in there is the Commissioners for Oaths Advocates Act Commission. And to all to whom it may concern, this presents come with greetings. And be it known that on the 24th day of December 2024, Kaliba Edison, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be a commissioner for oaths under the above-mentioned act for so long as he continues to practice as such advocate and the commission is not revoked. And the Marriage Act there places for celebration of marriage in exercise of the powers conferred upon by Section 5 of the Marriage Act 1. I hereby license the place of public worship mentioned in the schedule here too to be a place for the celebration of marriages. That is All Saints in Ndegeya Church of Uganda, which is of Anglican denomination, located in Ndegeya, Bugabira Parish, in Nyendo Mukungwe County District in Masaka. And that is by Honorable Norbert Mao. But still the Mining and Minerals Act there, a notice of grant of a medium-scale mining license. And it is hereby notified that small-scale mining license number MML 00524 registered as number 003512 has been granted in accordance with the provisions of Section 76 and Section 79 to Chigezi Iron Ore Artisanal Miners Association for a period of 10 years effective 13th March. And this is as by Honorable Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa Sentamu, Minister of Energy and Mineral Development. Well, that's it. Let's take a break with a song from Eddie Kenzo. Good morning.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
God for the women who fought for us to get out of the kitchen. Thank God for you.
Yes.
But when we got out of the kitchen, then we left the houses. So this movement now is to say, no, don't leave your home. You can do both.
You can have it all.
You can have it all. You can. How can you have it all? There's so many things that you do need to think through. There's things like prioritization, okay? You need to know what is your priority in a certain season. Most people don't understand seasons, yeah? If you're a mother with a newborn child, your season is very different from a single girl who's not yet had a boyfriend.
Yes.
Or who's not yet gotten married, or who has just gotten engaged, or who has those are all different seasons. So to just know your season and therefore know your priorities in that season, and then to work backwards and say, let me learn to plan. Let me organize. All of those are principles to help you win both at home and in the workplace. But most of us, we go to work, they teach us how to be organized. We organize.
You
And
organize for the boss.
For the boss. You
work.
organize for your workplace.
Yes.
You organize your board papers. You know how to do strategic plans for 3 to 5 years.
But you can't prepare
But you
menu
can't
for
do
your
that same
family.
at your home. And then you say, you will plan, but God laughs. How come in the company? You planned a 5-year strategic plan, a 3-month strategic plan. Why don't you have a strategic plan for yourself as a single young girl? So that you're not there. For you, everywhere they call you, you are there. You everywhere you go, you are like a soda. At
wedding.
You're everywhere. No, you need to know why you're here, so that you pursue. You put your feet in those things. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. We have already started. If you're just joining us, yes, you've missed the intro, but I believe that we are just getting into the nitty-gritty of Dominate, why it is important, the purpose behind it, and of course, I am speaking to the vision bearer, who is none other than Manuela Mulondo. If you have enjoyed Bump Love, you have, I think, gotten to get a bit of her mind regarding different things. You have gotten her experience, but if you haven't, if you're just encountering her for the first time, there is a movement that she has started. She's the vision bearer of a movement titled Dominate, for women, to empower women to prosper not only at work but also at home, because our offices are in 2 places, in the home and at work. So how do we get all of it? Because like I said earlier, we've been told we can only succeed at one thing, and we've let ourselves go. So Manuela is here. I won't take so much time. You mentioned that after much prayer, counsel and conversations, you aligned with what God is calling you to do in this season. What was the process like for you?
The process, so a lot of the work that I've done, so like I shared earlier, everything that I do is centered around this, okay? So when you think about the cradle, the cradle is to help mothers, who are in the workplace. If I can help them raise their babies, instead of it being a house girl, then I'm helping her to win at home while she wins in the workplace. When you think about Bump Love, okay, so the Cradle is a childcare and lactation service. I thought I should say that.
Yes, you should.
But then there's Bump Love, okay? Bump Love is a unit of mothers in different seasons who are sharing their experiences, both at home and at work, so that a mother can say, I identify with that mother on Bump Love, I identify with that mother, and I identify with that mother. And for this situation or this topic that they are tackling, I actually would handle it like that mother has said. Or if this is a situation that I'm actually going through right now, our last episode was on divorce. If you're going through it right now, you can tell, okay, let me do it like this, so that you have some form of guidance. The thing is, for life, we have no guidance. The Bible tells us that wisdom is out on the streets calling, it's shouting, saying, come, come. And when you refuse to take the wisdom, when you're in trouble, it will say, I'm not available to you. So if you get this wisdom and you receive it and you go and you do what you have to do because of the wisdom that you've received, your life is different. There is no manual for this life. You only hear people's experiences and you walk in those experiences, hoping that will it will work for you, yeah? So that is Bump Love. Again, it's still helping a mother to win both at home. I don't know if you realized.
Yes, it is. I have learnt a lot myself from, and I like when you were with Angie, Rachel, Pumla, I had a mother I identified with, and I believe every mom watching or every woman had someone they identified with.
Exactly. Yes. Then you think about my other work, which is the annual personal planning getaway, which is for mothers to help them plan their year 1 year ahead of time. Again, it is to help them win both at home and in the workplace. I have a PR company, which also helps women build their businesses or their careers based on their purpose here. Everything I'm doing is for them to win both at home and in the workplace. So now here I am, and I'm seeing all these women, and there's so many things that we are struggling with, even I struggled with, and God is telling me, go and get the young ladies. Before they come and suffer with this thing that you suffer. Go back. All of you older ladies, go back and tell them, don't do this, don't do this, walk this path, because I have walked that path before. And so that's what Dominate is about. It's 5 ladies actually who are coming together and saying, let us come and help you who doesn't know. And just to give you, which I've not told anybody else, Dominate will work for, we'll have 3 events.
Okay.
Yeah. One will be for young girls, 12 to 18.
12
to
18.
Yes. Another one will be now 19 to 25. And we'll have another 35. We'll have another one for the older women.
So is it all on the same day?
It is not on the same day.
Okay.
They'll be launched differently.
Right.
But when they come out, you'll see that these are 3 distinct events to help women exactly for this same purpose, to win both at home and in the workplace, because we are built to win.
We are built to win. Do you have any questions for Manuela? Please reach out to us on 709-602-592. Today, we are empowering women to win both at home and at places of work, because today with feminism, men are saying women do not know how to be feminine anymore. Women don't know how to be women anymore. Women have become men but in women's bodies. So today we are trying to burst that bubble and help women to realize that they can be it all and still remain women, feminine, mothers, wives, career women, and it all. So Manuela, many women struggle with defining their identity in today's fast-changing world. So with all the work that you've done and the self-actualization, what do you believe is God's original design for womanhood?
Oh my gosh, I love that. First of all, I must say that each of us is different. Your path and my path are different. When I look at you here and the work that you do, I should be inspired to be the best version of myself, not inspired to be you.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Yes.
I should be able to inspire you to be the best version of yourself, because your race and my race are very different. In the same way, man and woman are very different. They are distinctly different, and that's why you find that many women are going through a lot of stress. They are going through a lot of emotional pain because they have started to walk in a lane that is not theirs. When you look at the story of creation, let me take us back to Sunday school just a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, the person who was supposed to be looking for food was Adam. Now we can have a whole conversation on why the Adams were, and Adam was not doing what he was supposed to do. And unfortunately, I'm a woman, so I feel like I don't have the moral authority to speak to Adam, because Adam will look at me and say, but who do you think you are? What do you know? Do you know my struggles? So since I don't know much, I don't say so much about the men, and I hope that men will rise up and start to say, but men, the only reason women are trying to enter our space is because we are not there. There is a saying that nature abhors a vacuum. If there is a vacuum, something will come to fill up that space.
That's right.
Okay? So when Adam wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, Eve came to look for she came and found the food. And she gave it to him, because even when the Bible says, but who told you to eat this fruit? Because God came and asked him. He didn't ask Eve. You think God didn't know Eve had eaten the fruit? He knew. But the person who was responsible for this woman was this man. For her, she was supposed to help him. But this man, he said, where have you eaten that? He said, no, the woman that you gave me.
Yes.
I was here and she made me to eat this fruit. Yeah. We'll leave Satan alone in this conversation. Today, let's just work with, with the man and the woman.
Yes.
It is clear at the point of creation, man was told to tend this garden, to look after it. That is what men do. Women are helpers. We are designed and built to help. Now, the problem is most people think to help is to be weak. I don't get it. To help is not to be weak. To help means you're actually stronger. The word used to say the woman is a helper in the Bible, in the Hebrew, is a word called Ezer. That is the same word used for the Holy Spirit. So if the Holy Spirit can direct, what does the Holy Spirit do? Direct.
Yeah.
So that is what also you
helper.
direct.
Yes.
The Holy Spirit is a comforter. What do? You comfort. The Holy Spirit is a counselor. What do? You counsel. Not because you're weak, but because the person you're helping is weak. And they need your help. So men are, people are asking, but men rise up. The unfortunate thing, and I'm going to say this with all manner of humility, is that unfortunately we are the ones who are going to have to help them. You know why? We're the ones who raise the boys.
So when there is all this talk about the boy child has been left behind, you're saying
It's
we the
unfortunately the
mothers
women.
have to be the ones.
Unfortunately. Isn't it sad?
Yeah, it's
That
sad.
is how much help the potential of help we are able to give. Let me tell you, if you ask any man, and I dare any man, to rise up and say that he's where he is, and he doesn't say it was a woman who helped him. Most men, on their graduation, even here in this room, I can look around at all the men, and I ask them, wasn't it a woman? It was a woman. No man will say, okay, yes, okay, maybe father, but there is a woman who did something for him. That's how much help, that's how much strength. Now, if you walk away from that strength, if you walk away from that help, who do you think is helping? People are falling apart. People are falling down in the deep. Men are getting depressed. So it's when you think and say, when a woman rolls her eyes and says, Banai, will women do all things? Yes, because we are helpers. And because we are helpers, we've been built. We have it inbuilt in us to actually help. Think about a woman. From the moment she wakes up, somebody needs her time. The child needs her time. The housemaid needs her time. The school needs her time. Somebody, every time. Why? Because there's so much strength in the help we have available. The Holy Spirit has to use us to help. It's a lot. Imagine a person who is calling for help. When somebody needs help, can they do it? No. It means that what they are doing, they can't do it.
Yes.
That's why they ask for help. If someone is drowning in a river, they are shouting help. That means they've tried to save themselves,
but now
and they
can't.
can't.
Yeah.
Now that word help, in all its magnitude and all its strength, it was put on you and put on me and put on the female viewers of UBC.
Wow. Female viewers of UBC, I hope you're there, because this morning it's cold outside, but it is warm inside here because of all the nuggets that Manuela is dropping. And now this event is going to happen, I believe, with the caliber of the women that are invited to be a part of Dominate. I've had the pleasure of at least meeting two, you and Eunice Adubango,
yes.
And these are women of Vela, women I respect, women I have followed, even myself.
Yeah.
And I can tell you for sure, I've attended some of Eunice's classes on motherhood, on homemaking, and I'm like, wow, this event, every woman needs to attend it and benefit from it. But let's talk more about Dominate. You say that Dominate is a response to the redefinition of womanhood. What are some of the biggest challenges women face today that contradict God's design for them?
We've been told that every word that is in the Bible that speaks to women is a word of weakness. I think that's the biggest lie, and we've walked in it. It really shows you how what you hear causes you to walk in a certain way. If you keep hearing that you're weak, you'll walk in that way. Have men told us that we are weak? Yes. Has the media told us that we are weak? Yes.
Definitely.
Have fellow women told us that we are weak? Yes. And we walk in that weakness. If only we could stand up and say, but no, I'm a helper. It means I'm strong. It means that where somebody was going, they didn't know how to go, and so they needed my help. Every time you need help to move to get a certain direction, you call somebody who is stronger. You call somebody who's been there before you. You call somebody who has walked that journey before you, so that they can guide you. That's where you get help, isn't it?
Yes.
Can you go to a novice for help?
No.
No, you can't. If we say that we are going to now you've been promoted, you're going to do a new job. Do you go to let's say you're in a bank, you're going to be promoted to manager transactional banking. Do you go to a teller for help?
No.
No.
You go to someone that was
Thank
once
you.
in that position, or who is in that position.
So now women have failed to walk in the positions where we can be of help. We fail to walk in positions of leadership, so that when our children are rising to be political leaders, we have what to tell them. We have how to tell them to navigate this journey. When our husbands tell us, now I'm going to stand for MP, we know
How to support
how to
them.
support, because we've been there before.
Yes.
So we are not helping. When Adam is given this Garden of Eden, he's told to tend the garden and say that this one will help you. That means she knew this garden. And if you think about it, women know a lot about plants.
Yes.
They know a lot about fruits.
Yes.
They know a lot about animals. They know a lot by instinct. Why? Because they are to help. When he comes and says, I'm having this challenge, she should be knowing. So women...
That's the way I'm understanding it, Manuela, sorry to cut you short,
no worries.
is if, let's say a woman is like your assistant. When you have an assistant, you expect them to know your schedule. You expect them to know your meetings, your appointments. If you miss any of them, you're like, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
Why isn't it on my calendar?
So actually not. They are not your assistants.
Eh,
No,
okay.
they are not. Because when you think about assistants, assistants support. Yeah,
Yes.
I get that. But the position of woman is much higher than that.
Than an
The position
assistant.
of woman says, you're going to which meeting? The meeting with this friend of yours. That friend of yours, if you could talk to him about X, they are like a strategist.
I see it.
You've understood?
Yes,
They
I
are
see it.
strategists. The other one, an assistant can't help you if you're drowning because they are weaker than you. But this one here is the one,
at your level.
their helper is much higher.
Yeah.
They will tell you, you want to put money where?
Then you'll be like, have you asked yourself question this,
Like
that,
this
that,
one,
have you
this one,
considered
and
this
if you
and
think
that?
about it, women, we are and that is why we have both the logical side and the emotional side. When there was a study done in Harvard, and they found that women had 12 out of the 16 personality traits of leaders over men. Not so that we can be over men. No, so that we can help men.
Okay.
We've been told that, no, now feminism, feminism came and told us now that means you should be over and above the men. No, it is so that we can walk side by side. To say that, even when you're in a company meeting, you say, the way we had that meeting and the way he was sitting, that guy is not going to sign that paper. I know it.
And by the way, we
I
are
know
masters
it.
at we have the
Exactly.
sixth sense. It's a real thing. We are masters at reading body language
Exactly.
of the way he did. I saw him.
There is a way in which that one is. A woman will come and tell you, let me go and talk to this person on that side. The way you spoke to him annoyed him. You should have turned it like this. Let me do this. That is what, they are not an assistant, because an assistant will not even be
will not
welcome
do
in
that.
that room.
Yeah,
No.
I correct
That
myself
is why
now,
it
I
is
see it.
important for us to walk side by side.
Okay.
Because I provide something that a man doesn't have, and he provides something that I don't have. So that when the two of us come together, we are ready to dominate the world. We can't dominate it if we think we are in the same role.
And we can't dominate if we are not seeing things the same way.
Exactly. I am to help you. Yeah. You
Okay.
tell me we are going in this direction. I say, it's fast. Have you thought about this? So that you work backwards as a man. Aren't you telling us we're going in this direction? But I'm telling you that there is a hole there, ahead there. So that now we go with a ladder.
Okay. We are still using the
We're
same
still
route,
using the route.
but now we need
We
enforcement.
need the ladder.
Okay.
What I see ahead there are some men who might be very dangerous towards us. Okay, fine, let's go with some ammunition. You and the man, you go together. You reach the hole, you have a ladder. But now the way women are doing it, I told you there would be a hole. I told you. No, to tell me there was a hole was for the purpose of me to get a bridge, not a ladder. The purpose was for me to get a bridge.
Yes.
Then now we've got the bridge, now let us cross. In fact, when we are crossing, you could fall. Let me carry you. Then he carries her across the big hole. Now we know that ahead there might be there are some men who might some bandits who are going to come for us. So then what do we do? Now for you will distract them. You'll sing a song.
That's why men take their wives sometimes to important meetings.
Yes.
And he's like, wear this dress, you style your hair like this. You're there to distract as he makes a pitch. Anyway, Manuela, our time is fast spent, but tell us about Dominate. When is it happening? Who are the keynote speakers?
Yes.
And everything and anything about Dominate?
So it's actually happening 8 days from now on 12th April 2025. We'll be at the Kampala Serena Hotel. We have 5 fabulous speakers. You've already spoken about 2, so I won't speak about them. But we have Sylvia Mulinge. She's actually the CEO of MTN Uganda. We have Hope Kemigisha. We have Coach Purity Wako. And these are the topics that we'll be talking through. We'll start from the topic of purpose. After we have concluded purpose, we are going to go into the topic about how does the body you have, take in that purpose that you're supposed to walk in. How does it, how do you embrace that body that you have to help you as a vessel of the greatness in your purpose? And then after that, we'll go into our brains, intelligence, using our intelligence. We're going to wake some intelligence up in our women to tell them that you're more than just thighs. No, you have a brain over your shoulder as a helper. You're brilliant. You have both the left and the right side of your brain working concurrently. We're going to talk about our brains after our intelligence and our brains, and after we finish that, we're going to go into the workspace. How do you navigate the workspace? And then lastly, we'll go into the home space and bring it all together.
And organize our homes. Manuela has such a beautiful home. I've not been there, but I've seen the videos. I saw the whole, when you got into it. I mean, I've been stalking you for years. But anyway, Manuela, what's your last message, briefly in a few seconds, to women? How do they get the tickets? Where do they get the tickets, contact numbers, anything, how to get in touch with you about the event? Okay, the first thing that you'll do is you can follow us on Dominate_conference. You can also call us on 0783 0783 296 265 or 0702 380 894. But you can also follow me on my social media platforms, Manuela P. Mulondo, and you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Which other one do you Snapchat? All of them. YouTube. Manuela P. Mulondo, not Emanuela P. Mulondo, but Manuela MANUELA P. Mulondo on all social media platforms, and you'll find all of the information there. Well, thank you so much, Manuela. And if you're a woman, if you miss this event, honestly, you will have done yourself a disservice. So this is an event where we should be, because there are many spaces where you're going to find men enriching themselves. And I think it's about time as women we started enriching ourselves. And what better way to do that than to learn from women that have achieved a certain level of success, both in the home and at work. That's very important, at home and at work. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Olive.
It's been such a pleasure having this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, before we move on, we would like to wish Sandra Nawulia a happy birthday. Sandra Nawulia, you were born today, and today is your special day. So Shafiq says happy birthday, and us here from Good Morning Uganda, we say happy birthday. 365 days around the sun. I hope that your tomorrow may definitely be better than your yesterday. Well, Good Morning Uganda does continue. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our path and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. We want what you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
The circle started 5 years back with 15 members who were part of the executive, and we managed to use the same 15 members to mobilize the youth and come in to make the 16 associations. So each member took a thought of gathering, mobilizing the 15 people to make associations. So the circle was established. We happened to have 229 members that qualified for 30 millions, which we got in 2021. We used the 30 millions from the presidential initiative to buy the 6 motorcycles, which was a small number to benefit the 229 members, but we managed to use it. The 6 boda helped us to go under saving culture. We managed to group our members into 15-15 for saving culture. So the saving culture is 15 groups. They could get 12,000 per day, which 12,000 at the end of the month manages to buy 1 motorcycle. That 1 motorcycle is shared among the 15, so they vote who to take it. The 15 kept on until the 15 months. Every member had to get 1 motorcycle with saving culture. As I say, we managed to get 84 motorcycles from today's report. On daily, a rider, you move Kawempe, Nakawaru, Makinde, you Kampala Metropolitan, and at the end of the day, you have 50,000. That one, we call it average day. There is a time you make 100, that is, we call it the golden day. So most of our members came without anything to use or to support their family. So we helped them by giving them the boda as one of the job opportunity the circle is offering to the community.
Tuso okwebaza President Museveni olw'enkola eno gyatutereddewo otukulaakulanya nga najja wano mu Saka eno nga sirina piki era ndi omu ku bammemba abaasooka okufuna lupiki. Kati abavubuka abali bateesobola kugula piki wano kibakyama kuba ogula buguzi migabo $5,000 ng'ofuna piki ng'otandika obulamu. Ate ku layisi tuli bangi kuba omuntu tolina $5 million zigula mpya 5 kituufu. Oba oguza emigabo ate nga gijjo n'otandikira okwo tolaba nti oba ofunyemu. Abantu abali batalina mirimu bagifuna. Wawo guno mulimu nno gwennyini tugufunyemu singa simaanyi ga mulimu guno kitegeeza nandibadde sikola ki sina ngeri ki gyenyiza buli kwasaganya abaana basoma era muki okulya byonna bakwesanyusaamu era kiki era ngutwalanga ensonga enkulu kubanga ufunamu gubinkolera go ge mazima gubinkolera ddala bulungi mukadde tajula maama gwe nninawe yekka oba oli awo akasimu ante kino bakiri mugira nga n'oteekayo n'omusindika ante kino egamba tosobola kulwamu ki sente.
Ebyenfuna byange byali bibi ddala naye nze ng'omuntu nasalawo n'ekifaananyi kya President Museveni kitambuze mu Kampala yonna mwenkolera okubalaga nti President Museveni yantuusizza ku kino kuba nekolera ssente zange era nzifuna era nzirabako.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
samanya naye kati mmanyi lwaki yaŋŋanya okuba mu nsi eno bwe nzijukira ebiseera ebyayita lulinga ndi muto okutuusa nga nkuze nakola bingi ebitabalekaye saali muyonjo naye yasasira bala lunaku ku lunaku ebirungi byokola ntoku zudde lwaki wanzisa ku nsi eno nonjawula ng'omuntu eyeterekera ekyekkulo waliwo ensonga lwaki natondebwa nze natondebwa natondebwa kusinza natondebwa kutenda nze natondebwa natondebwa kusinza kwe natondebwa kutenda mukama osukulume waggulu waggulu osinzibwe waggulu waggulu nze ndi mulamu lwa nsonga eyo wendigwe bwotali sibeerawo oli ttaka kwensimba ebigere bwenseerera ne sizikirira wewemba bwe nekwenka amafumu aganjigga olina ekisa ekitalinalina wansukkulumya ku bitonde birala nonjawula nonesigaliza nkusinze nze natondebwa natondebwa kusinza natondebwa kutenda nze natondebwa natondebwa kutenda kwe natondebwa kutenda mukama osukulume osinzibwe waggulu tuwanike emikono gy'oli.
Good morning, Uganda. That is a beautiful song from Peter Fogg, and it's Natondebwa Kusinza. You were created, he was created, we were created to worship God. That is in the message of the song. Once again, good morning. My name is Julie Nantaba Musisi, and as always, every Friday we make sure that we have an inspirational artist to uplift your day, to kickstart your day with inspiration. As it is here at UBC, we inspire Uganda. Good morning, Peter.
Yeah, good morning, Mom.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
How are you?
I am doing so well.
It's as if in the video I saw Engineer Brian there.
Yeah.
Very, very
He's my
interesting.
big brother, by the way.
Really?
Yeah,
that is a small world.
Wow.
And very shocking.
Wow.
Major shout outs to you, Engineer Brian. Thank you so much for coming.
Wow, thank you so much.
Now, Peter Fogg is a dancer, he is a gospel artist, he is a worshipper, and he is also a visual artist. A lot of art in there, in one person, and he uses it all for the glory of the Lord. Now, I will ask, why did you choose to use your art in that direction? You could have chosen any other direction, and many of them, but why in particular for gospel music?
Yeah, gospel music, since childhood, we were trained to love God. And we grew up loving God and worshiping, praising since Sunday school until now. And it is due to the upbringing, our parents that did us well, they took us to church and they made us love God from the beginning. So after all that, we look at the disciplines and everything. Before I take you there, I'm an artist. I do paint, and I also dance. So we look at dance being an item that is inspired by music.
Interesting, yes.
Yeah. So I thought of what could I do to serve God in church, and dance alone wasn't enough, and like I told you, music inspires dance, so I thought I could try that. As I paint, as I dance, I do listen to a lot of music, and I'm inspired, and I felt like I could do something.
Wow. So when you're painting, do you paint drawings, or there's a particular painting? Are you particular with your painting?
Yeah, now I'm particular, but I still try out some other styles because it is all about experimenting.
So does that mean that as you're doing it, around you is worship music, you're dancing at the same time? Do you actually make content out of this?
I do, but not so much. I'm still planning on how to put it out well.
Deliver it.
But like I told you, music inspires also the painting. It flows within. So when you put some good vocal-rich music, it inspires you as you do anything you do. It opens your spiritual realm, and you be creative in some way or the other.
You remind me of that scripture in Exodus where God anointed artists to paint perfect art. But which artists inspire you?
In Uganda?
Yeah, let's start from Uganda.
Uganda, we have Ronex, because right now I'm dealing with abstract. Ronex is an abstract artist.
What do you mean by abstract artist?
Yeah, there is realism. Realism is, for example, drawing a person the way he or she looks.
Okay.
That is realism, exact. You're doing a photocopy from a picture to somewhere.
So, like I stand here and you have your pencil and paper and you just sketch.
You paint or draw,
Okay.
Then abstract, they're not real, like straight real. You can use some technique just to bring out a story that you want to put out.
So it's more of, there's a lot of technology with abstract? Is that what you mean?
Could be more creativity. You can even amalgamate the realism and abstract, but abstract is, at some point you might look at an art piece and you can't pull out a message, or many people can look at it and whoever looks at it has a different interpretation of it.
Oh, yes. That makes a lot
so
of sense.
It is not that straight. That straight into alabe, this is someone, or this is the president, or you or me. So it will be in an abstract way, but telling a story.
Yes. Does that mean, it reminds me, it could be Leonardo da Vinci, who has the Mona Lisa. Many people interpret the Mona Lisa differently, but it's still one piece, one artist, and different people read different things whenever they look at it. Is that the type of art you mean?
Yeah, sure. Mona Lisa is quite realistic.
Yes.
But we look at artists like Van Gogh that used to paint the sky with scribbles.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
No, so people couldn't understand the way and what the reason as to why he did that, or the way he put it out that way. But he had a story behind it, and they could tell stories through that, and everything that was into the piece was intentional, just to bring out the feeling of an artist.
So with that type of art, does it mean that us who view the art have different interpretations, and the artist also has their original message?
Most definitely.
Well, how does it come up? Because I believe as an artist, you want to tell the world a story that you want them to perceive, and you want them to interpret. You're telling your story. It's like music. You're telling your story, and you want people to receive that message that is on your heart.
Yeah, right.
So with art, that type of art that has many facets, doesn't it confuse, or doesn't it hide what you want the world to see?
At some point it does, but we are told we are supposed as artists to do a write-up about the piece, and you give reasons as to why you put specific items into that piece, so that when you do a write-up, people get to understand your intentions into that piece, and why you put every item in that specific position. Yeah, so we do a write-up and people get to understand.
Very interesting. Peter Fogg is
Sure.
in studio with us, and he has a lot of music for us. He is a visual artist. He is a dancer. I believe if you started this particular part of the show with us, you noticed a bit of contemporary dance in his video, as well as a worshiper and a gospel minister. And he combines all of this to present himself to the world through art. One person with a lot of things, all of them at the same time and delivered to you at the same time. Are you active with the arts industry in Uganda, the visual arts, the kind of art you do?
Yeah, I'm quite active. Yeah.
So you do usually have, what are they called? Exhibitions?
Exhibitions, yeah. Recently, a month ago, I had an exhibition, and a week ago. Yeah.
Where do you usually hold them?
Why?
Where do you usually hold the exhibitions?
Recently, it was a Zenson art space. It was for a full month, but it's done now.
Yes. When is the next one?
Next one soon, could be in May.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'll be letting you know.
Amazing.
Sure.
That means, you know, this is art that it's rarely talked about, yet there are many people who love it. So if you love art, if you love to go to art galleries, if you love visiting exhibitions, if you love artwork and you just love to study art pieces, I believe Peter is one to look out for, and look forward. You said May to the month of May, where he'll have his next exhibition. Now, Peter Fogg is an artist, and I will allow him to take us away with more of his music. An artist with music is an artist with many faces to it: music, art, dance. But for now, because he has a microphone in front of him, why not use his voice to deliver that art from his vocal box?
Wow, thank you so much. Sebo sisobola bino bye bampaga nze sisobola lwaleero nasuze wano ondagirire nze omutima nasuze wano onkolere onagirire nze nabeko byange taata mu maaso go ndi muwere sibanamaanyi nga sikulina obuvumu nsonda nga tebuwera bisuubi mu ngalo nze ndewalira omutima gwange nga sikulina obuvumu nsonda nga tebuwera bisuubi mu ngalo nze ndewalira omutima ye nasuze wano onkolere ondagirire nze omutima nasuze wano onkolere ondagirire nze ekulyange mukateeba omutima gwange gwennyika bw'otabara zinywerere ku ki kowola mukama nkuyita gwetaaga obutayosa mukateebe omutima gwange erere ku ki mukama gwetaaga sisobola sebo sisobola mutuufu bampagana ye sisobola sebo sisobola nze bino bye bampaga nze sisobola neetaaga omukono gw'omukama nyweza 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 mutima guluma nasuze nkulinze onkolere Yesu ndabe ku byange
Munamwesibako naye byakola biragantandiko Munamwesibako naye byakola biragantandiko
Yambako tumwebaze
Tabakuboyo
Ekyandibadde
Tumwebaze Tabakuboyo
Ekyandibadde Jangu eno tumwebaze Tabakuboyo tekyandibadde Jangu eno tumwebaze Tabakuboyo tekyandibadde Sibalabudde balira kugwe anti byenkola byonna nze ndabira kugwe maama taata bakunkwasa gwe olugendo montalisisembula nkizudde omukwano n'ekisa bisanze muggwa kusinza n'atasinza omukka bonna bassa webale ndi mulamu ne katonda omulamu kitange bw'obikwatamu anti tewaba kibulamu konaawe kaato kalinda saaba n'ottaka obaddewo okuva mu buto kati nkuze nkujulira taata bw'otakuuma bikanga bw'abitutta bakuumira busa bakumba ekibuga kino opadde byesigwana birungi byesisuubira kyempapaniika emikono nsize gwatankotogira ekyandibadde tabakuba gwe kukyala waffe n'okyusa amagenda gaffe
Jangu eno tumwebaze
webale webale
Nyambako tumwebaze
webale Yesu webale nyambako tumwebaze nyambako tumwebaze ekyandibadde wereka nkubulire birungi abikoze ono sikarebule wasuubiza atuukiriza omukono ensusiza binsuseeko nze nno ampunziza nali nsosolwa nanfuula ow'ensonga kisa kye kweyabega nanfuula mega waba munze pummula ebikutte nasumulula kabibe bizibu biteye wali tasesetuka gaali amaziga agafuuka enseko kyonna ekibula bwasigala agattako asitula mu bbanga seeyeyanga mpungu taganya kabiiko nakuntukako yesaabalwanyi nandigenze wani eyekka mbeeredde bwoba tansibye ekibwani tassa mukono obulamu ye mugabiriza nteera emmere ku siyaani
Jangu eno tumwebaze
ekyandibadde nyambako tumwebaze ono nyambako tumwebaze nyambako tumwebaze ono sikyasikatiranga musaba amagezi mu mulimu tweyagagaba abaana bo banasomesebwa oyo sikyasikatiranga musaba amagezi mu mulimu tweyagagaba abaana bo banasomesebwa oyo okusoma kw'okufumbirwa n'obubenje bw'osimatuka abaana bo banasomesebwa oyo okusoma kw'okufumbirwa n'obubenje bw'osimatuka abaana bo banasomesebwa oyo Yeah, thank you so much.
n'obubenje bw'osimatuka
Abaana bo Wow,
Very
thank you so
interesting.
much.
Peter got me to pull out my
Wow.
fake maganda, but at least I can use it to dance,
Sure.
isn't it?
That's amazing. Good.
That's amazing.
Wow.
What inspires you when you're creating this music?
What inspires me first is the love of God, the love that God has upon me, my family, and everyone around me. My life story, Jemvude, Wempise, and etc. Yeah, most times there is showcase worship ziri mba nzijja ku mutima gwange cause zinkwatirako ddala cause
they are your experience.
In this world, before you give, you have to have first.
Yes.
So most times kinyamba okubanga nsobola okujja kyennina ku mutima and someone can relate with my story and sometimes wesanga nga waliwo abarelatinga naye nga nabo bayitako mu mbeera emu gye bayitamu oba nga they get to walls waliwo stumbling blocks ezibabeera mu maaso nga tebalina gye badda naye nga beetaaga Mukama naddala wenagirwa the song of Omutima. Then the Waggulu song is we all have a reason as to why we were created, and that is to worship him and praise him.
Yes.
Amazing.
So Peter says that what inspires his music mostly is the fact that most of it is from experience, so he sings from his heart and he pours it out through music. But many a times you could also find yourself in a challenge that might not be necessarily what he went through, but still his music will speak to you with the same message of hope and hope in Jesus Christ. Now, thank you so much, Peter.
Wow, thank you so much.
Continue serving the Lord.
Wow.
What are your social media handles in case anyone wants to get in touch with you?
YouTube, Peter Fogg, Instagram, everywhere, Peter Fogg.
Allow me ask, what does Fogg mean?
Sorry. Fogg represents a friend of God.
Nice.
That's how it ends.
Very interesting.
It comes from John 15:14.
Very inspiring. Yes. Very inspiring. I am not so sure if we're able to get that last song, but it would be nice for us to sign out with that particular one. At least we go wild dancing. But thank you so much, Peter.
Wow, thank you for hosting me. Thank you for having me.
Amazing.
Bless the Lord.
Cheers to Engineer Brian.
Sure, thank you.
All right, UBC is the TV that you are watching, and Good Morning Uganda is the show. We are having a conversation about film in a short while. And Olive will also be bringing you the latest movies that you need to look forward to. But Good Morning Uganda does continue, and thank you so much for watching.
Yesu webale Yesu webale Yesu webale
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwao.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwao.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by.
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100*21# and select daily or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, They stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
In a land rich with culture,
Omumbejja Kisakye agenda kuwayira nkukwasa obuvunaanyizibwa obw'okumutungira olugoye lw'anaayambala ku mukolo gwe twagala mu lubugo. Olubugo lwe lugoye lwaffe olw'ennono era olw'ekitiibwa.
a father commands an end.
Olina ozuula amakulu agali mu bulamu ate tugenda kukola bwekibudde.
Tradition stands on one side.
Naye nga gwekimuze yanzaala okunkola obubi obwenkani kubanga oli mulimba. Kati kulwaki tobyekolera? Tonyanukula muvubuka. Sigo bikakanze lwaki togenda mu bwa poliisi oba n'ovuba. Oyagala kubeera nga nze. Guwanjigiriza obwa kimote.
Barcloth turns a happy family upside down.
Kati ate oli mukungobamu. Kendi kikunyumira. Nkuze buli kyenkwatako mbugo. Ze neebikka kwensula. Ze zinsomesezza. Kati ate z'oli mukungobamu lwaki tolowooza nti obudde obukyuka bulabika bwaggwayo. Ettaka lyange lirugenda ng'ompulira obudde bwaggwayo. Oh, we buzibu omuzeeyi. Ze nakola ensobi okulabamu bwe kyotera. Oyagala okukyuka so sinze.
Their legacy, their pride, everything is at stake.
Oli mwana wa kikolimu. Ekizikiza kikutambulirako. Omukono gwa buli kyegukwatako kifa. Nakola ensobi okuteeka obwesige bwange mu kikunwa. Mukyala wange yafa akuzaala. Ettaka lyange lirugenda kubanga gwe leka n'akabenje nakafuna nva kugulirira oyingira obusirikale akaana akanaku kazuri bakarepinga era gwe kolabamu essuubi jama olugoye olwo oba embaga gifuuwe mu ng'ombe nga buli omu akalabanga akanaddibanga bwe noolabanga ye muntu omutuufu gw'olina okuganza embaga yako esasise kulwani.
A story of love, hope, and the fight for identity. Will the past break them? Oh, will it make them stronger? Chimote, where tradition meets destiny.
Now that is a very, very, very eye-catching trailer, I must say, and the movie is called Chimote, but it's not showing for no reason. It is showing because we have the main actors, the main characters in the movie. Soon to premiere, they'll be telling us more about that. But good morning, Uganda. Julie Nantaba Musisi is my name, and I'm always excited when it comes to film because I love telling stories and everything that tells stories in the different avenues, and film is one of them. Chimote is a beautiful, beautiful movie from what you yourself have watched from the trailer. Powerful story with amazing, prominent actors in the Ugandan film. I could see Sarah Chisauzi there, Raymond Rushabiro, amazing actors. And on top of it, we have two of them who are the lead roles in the movie. That is Blaise and Isaac in studio with us. Good morning, Blaise.
Good morning.
Good morning, Isaac.
Good morning.
So you two, from what I've seen, are the lovebirds in the movie.
Yeah, that is very important.
And there were very eye-catching scenes. They are rare to find on a Ugandan film set, mostly Hollywood. I see Indian movies, Bollywood restricts a bit. And I think even the Filipino industry restricts a bit. The Telemundo industry is open about it. Hollywood is open about it. And rare on Ugandan film sets, but I've seen it with you. You guys actually kissing. So let's start from there. How was it getting into character for cozy moments like that? I'll start with you, Blaze, because you're blushing the most.
The kissing scene?
Yes.
I read the script from the beginning. I understood it is a role and it's an assignment,
yes.
And it has a cause why I'm doing that. And I had to keep it so professional. And we were working with a professional director who blocked us on how to do it. So it was just acting without emotions attached.
Amazing.
Yes.
And you pulled it off because it really looks very serious. But I'll also ask Isaac, how was the preparation process for you for that particular scene?
It wasn't very hard for me because, you know,
it was an opportunity?
No. No, of course.
You know they say men will always be men, but please speak.
Yeah, it was actually a very good, you know, experience. Though it wasn't hard for me because that's acting and getting into character. It means to do everything possible that requires you to pull out the, you know, the character that you have been given.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now let me start with you. Who is Isaac?
Well, Isaac is a guy like the guy you are actually watching on your screens right now. Very talented, I might say. He's a photographer professionally, and yeah.
Interesting. And what's your brand name?
My brand name is
are you just Isaac in the film industry, or you're Isaac with another name that the world knows you by and the credits display you as for every movie?
Isaac. That's my brand name.
Even on the credits?
Yeah, Isaac Mendes.
Isaac Mendes.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you so much, Isaac, and welcome to Good Morning Uganda.
Thank you for hosting me.
Hi, Blaze.
Hi.
Who is Blaze?
Blaze Natukunda. She's an actress. She's a voice actress. She's a screenplay writer, a film producer, and the CEO of Her Films production company. Amazing. Yes.
Her Films. You could have worked. Last week I had a conversation with I'm forgetting the name, but it was a project at a food restaurant, a restaurant, sorry, but it encompasses art in there. And there was a celebration of women's empowerment or something over the weekend. And I remember something like Her Story or Her Production or Her. So it feels like you're the CEO.
Oh, Her Story. I think that's another company. Her Story is something like that. Yeah, my company is Her Films.
Her Films.
Her Films. Our stories as women, it's women thing.
Yes.
So Her Films production company.
Amazing. Pleasure to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
And let's start the conversation from the movie itself. I'll come to you, Isaac. What was the process like behind the scenes in regards to creating it, acting on days on set, production, having all actors on a call sheet at the time they are needed in real time? Take us through the process of it before the final product is delivered.
Oh yeah, thank you. It was actually challenging for most of us, especially for me, because I must say this is gonna be my my first film being a lead. You understand? So
most of them have been support roles.
Yeah. There's a movie I made first. It wasn't actually impactful. This is gonna be the first one, and I believe you guys have to watch it. It's gonna be very amazing.
The trailer is for itself.
The preparation were good, but we were scared, me as a person, because being a lead, it means taking all the responsibilities. You have to support your co-acting, you know, and supporting characters. You have to support them. They have to support you in return. So I was intimidated in the first place, but later on, I was, you know, I dived in.
What helped you dive in? Are you a method actor?
You can say I'm a method actor if you watch the trailer, because the way I'm looking right now is not the way I was, you know, I'm looking in the film. So I can say I'm a method actor, but I don't want to be a method actor.
Yes,
I
yes.
don't want to be that.
If you're wondering what method acting is, usually for actors to get into character, they become that character for a while. So to enable them deliver that character until the project is done, and then they can snap out of it. But snapping out of it at times is also quite hard, and that's why Isaac says that right now he's not the person we were seeing on screen, because at that time he was that person, and right now he's a whole different person. That means you don't easily stay into that character. There are some who stay in it, and the first yeah, goodness, I'm forgetting the movie, but it is the Joker, the first Joker. The first Joker actually committed suicide because of he was a method actor, and stuck into it, led him into depression, and before you know it, yeah, so sometimes getting into character comes with its own things.
Yeah, sure. So it was quite challenging for us. And I thank my producer, Mageye Hassan, because he interested me with that role, and he kept on, you know, encouraging me, telling me you are going to do it. I pick people that I know can deliver what I want. So believe in yourself. Yeah, he believed in me, so he encouraged me to believe in myself, which I did. Yeah.
And now you're here.
And I'm here.
And the lead role. Let me come to you, Blaze. What drew you to the script when you first received it? What encouraged you to continue with it?
Well, to be honest, the first person I fell in love with, it was the director himself. The man is calm. The man is calm. The man is so respectful.
And you always deliver with the best director.
Yes. So when I met the director, I was impressed. Just the first 2 minutes I sat with him, I was like, oh, I'm good to go with this man. I remember him saying, you're saying you're going to work even before knowing the story. That was so embarrassing for an actor, but I was already taken by his humbleness. And then when I got to know the script, oh dear, oh God, it was a story that was leading to one event after the other. So I was like, this is a story to jump on board with. When I got to know the kind of people I'm going to act with, the type of the story we are going to do, and how much this man has done. This man has been in the industry for about, is it 20 years, Mendes? Yeah. Hassan Mageye we are talking about is the producer of Bedroom Chains. He has done Invisible Cuffs. He's apparently not even in the country. He's in US still doing Hollywood productions. So he just flew in the country to do Kimote, and after doing it, he went out, like to do more stuff. So when I got to know that God I'm dealing with, I'm like, yo.
An opportunity. Very interesting. That was an opportunity. Beautiful there. But also take us through your experience, Isaac. Blaze has shared hers, but your personal experience with Hassan, from the word go to helping you get into emotional characters. You know that those directors who back at you to cry.
That's not Hassan.
You need to cry in a scene, but you can't. And the director will just embarrass you with an insult, and which catches your emotions, and then before you know it, yes. But what was it like, especially for emotional scenes?
You know, I happen to come from then I was coming from a production house called Limit Production. So it's owned by the director himself, Melinda Richard. So Melinda Richard is the person who actually recommended me to Hassan Mageye. And Mageye, when I met Mageye, Hassan Mageye, he was humble, as Blaze has shared. He's a very humble guy. And I was so scared because it was going to be my first time to work with a different producer. So I thought he could be like Mulindwa. I prayed
for him to be like Mulindwa.
For him to be like Mulindwa. Now it turns out to be like producer Hassan Mageye was actually humble, and I couldn't believe, because I kept on, you know, before I met him, I got so much, you know, information about him. They were talking about him, but I couldn't tell the picture because I hadn't seen him before. So when I saw him, I was scared a little bit, you know, the first time. But when we started to work together, I got to know that he was actually a very awesome person.
Amazing.
Amazing person. You know, everything for Hassan Magaye is calm.
Yeah,
do what you have to do. Yeah, do what you have to do. Calm down, deliver.
Nice.
If you don't feel it, he'll probably tell you. First rest.
Yeah.
Then come back.
Very interesting. Now let me come to you, Blaze. Let's now talk about the movie itself. When is it premiering and where?
Oh, that beautiful Chimote film. It is a story about backcloth, a story that tells our tale. It is a story that embraces cultural heritage, whereby we see this young man advocating for backcloth, standing for the beauty of backcloth, fighting for it till the end. And it's premiering at Acacia Mall in Kamwokya on the 25th, 26th, and 27th of April. That is the weekend just after the Easter weekend. Yes.
Very interesting. Looking forward to it. And the premiere date is the very first date.
Yeah, 25th, 26th, 27th.
Yes. Now, this particular one of the 25th, because I know those first days,
Yeah.
they are usually different. Do we have a theme?
Of course.
For the day, Isaac, help me answer that. What should we look forward to? Do we come dressed in backcloth? Do we come dressed in gomasis and kanzus? What are we putting on? How should we prepare for the premiere?
You actually have to look at the story, because the story is talking about, you know, culture. So it is actually in our interest if you would come putting on something like, you know,
of cultural heritage.
Maybe if you can access a backcloth, go make it out, dress out of it. That would be very nice.
Are we paying?
Of course.
Okay. How much?
Of course.
Of course.
you know, you have to tell us in Uganda. If we are paying, we know so that we come with the money. You might not say and you might come thinking it's for free, but how much are we paying?
On the first day, it's 100,000. First day, that is the grand premiere, the glamorous backcloth carpet.
Oh,
yes.
Interesting.
I'm so excited about it. Then on the second day, it is 50,000 VIP and 20,000 only for ordinary. Then the third day, it is 50,000 VIP, but 20 tickets are done. It's sold out.
Oh.
Yeah, 20 tickets are sold out.
Wow.
So on the third day, we are only having tickets of 50,000.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Interesting. And after the premiere, will it be showing in theaters thereafter?
Yes, yes. Actually, about Chimote film, it is a film that that qualifies for an Oscar selection. Yeah, something I didn't mention about earlier. So after, we are going to be announcing the other 4 days to make a total of 7 days to fulfill the Oscar screening qualification, so that we qualify for that category of also viewers'
So after
choice.
the first 3 days, there will be more screening days.
Yes, that's why I'm calling these premiere days.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all going to be grand premiere days. Same experience, same everything. Then after, we're having just 4 normal days of screening that will be announced after.
Oh, very interesting. You should go to Acacia to watch Chimote. It's a beautiful movie from what you can see on the trailer there. Amazing talent. Look at the camera angles. Look at the actors there. The story there, very beautiful. The cinematography there is beautiful. I can see Isaac in a whole different character that you can't see right now. 25th, 26th, and 27th April. That is the weekend right after Easter. It's when it's filming at Acacia Mall. Ugandan film is surely growing. Ugandan film is surely at its best. Oh, wow, the special effects is also beautiful. Who was on the special effects?
You know better.
At least.
No. I know the person who was on the makeup. We had an award-winning makeup artist.
Who was that?
Rose Kebirungi.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Rose Kebirungi. And the director himself.
He is
and then we had a wonderful AD.
Yes.
Irene Seremba. Yeah, she is also an award-winning personnel. So we had cream.
Yes.
We had Mr. Holy Spirit. We had Mr. Joseph, Ken Joseph. What is his name?
Oh, Ken.
Who was on the lights?
The gaffer.
Yeah, who was on the gaffer.
Yes,
He's also a producer of himself.
Producer, yeah.
Yes, so what Hassan Magaye did is Yakwata cream of every department and assembled it for Chimote.
Well, celebrating cultural heritage through film, Chimote is a movie to look forward to. So 25th, 26th, 27th, head over to Acacia Mall. 100,000 Uganda shillings for the very first day of premiere. And then the other days, 50,000 Uganda shillings and 20,000 on the 27th. Go get yourself a seat at the Acacia. Go get yourself the experience of a backcloth carpet at the Acacia for the movie Chimote, and get to appreciate Ugandan film, but also get to appreciate your roots as a Ugandan. Good morning, Uganda. That's it from Blaze and Isaac. I cannot wait to watch the movie. I cannot wait to see you guys in action. But thank you so much for coming through and telling us about the movie.
Thank you for hosting us.
Amazing.
Oh, and to tell the viewers,
yes, please,
you should come and meet your actors, your actresses, cast and crew. We are all going to be there.
Yes.
So please come through, support Ugandan, support your own.
Amazing autograph moments there, right? But go to Acacia after Easter and have yourself a good time. But Good Morning Uganda does continue. Olive is coming through with movie updates that you should look forward to watch and have a good time over your weekend. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby,
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real.
I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving. Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. But what you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start up
process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Nice if the weather can continue the way it is right this minute and goes through or pours into Saturday, pours into Sunday. It will be a great time for us to enjoy Netflix and all these other channels and chill. Hence the reason why I'm here to give you some movie recommendations that you can look out for this weekend. My name is Olive Monica Najima, so let's get into it. Now, the first movie I'll recommend today is Flight Risk, which is a 2025 American action thriller film directed by Mel Gibson. Now, the plot of the movie follows U.S. Marshal Madeleine Harris, who arrests Winston, an accountant, while he's hiding in Alaska after turning informant against his former employer, the Moretti crime family. Now, Madeleine charters a small airplane to take them to Anchorage so that they can transfer to New York City, where she intends for Winston to testify against the Morettis. They are piloted by Darrow Booth, a Texan living in Alaska, who explains that the aircraft's radio is broken. However, while shackled in the middle of the plane, Winston spots Darrow's pilot's license under the seat in front of him. Now, he noticed that the photograph is a different person to Darrow. He tries to warn Madeleine, who has her headset on and cannot hear him. After a brief conversation with Madeleine, the pilot's accent slips, revealing himself to be a hitman using Darrow's identity with orders to kill Winston. Madeleine manages to subdue him with a taser and takes over piloting the plane. Let's watch the trailer.
I never flew U.S. Marshal before. Hope you like flying. Beautiful day for it. Deputy Harris, hope you like flying. Beautiful day for it. I never flew U.S. Marshal before. Why is he all chained up?
I have to get him to New York so we can testify against the Moretti crime family.
Okay, hey, you're the boss.
Can't seem to face up to the facts. I'm dancing, I'm facing, I can't relax.
Is it always this bumpy?
A number of passengers have left their lunch up here. I can open a snack bar.
Can't sleep, cause my bed's on fire.
Your neck okay? You got a scratch there.
Ah, maintenance. Occupational hazard.
Don't touch me, don't touch me. I'm a real life psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Moretti is very disappointed in you, Winston, and he wants you dead.
Don't shoot him, we need him! Mayday, mayday. We've been compromised. The pilot's a hitman.
I'm gonna tear you apart. The tiny little pieces, they're gonna need the entire forensics team to identify you.
Tell me how to fly this thing, or we will die out here.
Clearly, you've mistaken me for somebody who actually gives a...
You hear that? Looks military.
Interesting movie. However, the movie received negative criticism from the critics, and it only grossed $43 million worldwide. However, it stars Michelle Dockery, Mark Wahlberg, and Topher Grace, and it was released in January 2020. It was released in 2020. On January 24th, 2025. Now, the next movie up for recommendation, especially if you're into the Marvel movies, is Captain America: Brave New World, which is a 2025 American superhero film based on Marvel Comics, featuring the character Sam Wilson, Captain America, and it is produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is the fourth installment in the Captain America film series, a continuation of the television miniseries The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and also the 35th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, 5 months after Thaddeus Ross is elected President of the United States, his sons Sam Wilson and Joaquin Torres, the new Captain America and Falcon respectively, to Osaka, Mexico, to stop the illegal sale of classified items stolen by Sidewinder and his mercenary group, Serpent. Wilson and Torres recover the items, but Sidewinder escapes. Now, Torres is excited to be taking on Wilson's former mantle of Falcon, but Wilson is hesitant to involve Torres in dangerous missions due to the pair not having superpowers like former Captain America Steven Rogers. After the mission, Wilson and Torres train with Isaiah Bradley, a super soldier who was imprisoned and experimented on by the US government. Let's look at the trailer.
Let me fix it. Watch yourself. You asked for me. Here I am. You want to help me? Is there anything you remember?
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Thaddeus Ross.
Whatever this is, Cap, be careful. What do we know?
There were 5 shooters. This was a coordinated terrorist attack, sir.
I was a wartime general. Now I'm a wartime president. Your inner circle's been compromised. Let me fix it. Watch yourself. You're not Steve Rogers. You're right. I'm not. Wait for it. We're on the brink of war. I can't trust anyone. Nothing about this feels right.
Captain America. You ever ask yourself, who's playing who?
Someone's been pulling the strings on everything.
You're under arrest?
I don't want a variable out there that I can't control.
Stop!
Captain America, caught without his wings.
You'd like to play dress up and blindly execute the state's orders.
Well, Captain America: Brave New World is starring Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, also known as Captain America. Then Danny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres, also known as Falcon. Then Shira Haas as Ruth Bat-Sera. Carl Lambley as Isaiah Bradley. Kosa Rookmore as Leila Taylor. And Giancarlo Esposito as Seth Walker, also also Sidewinder. Now, the movie was released in Los Angeles at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood on February 11th, 2025. The next movie and the last recommendation for the day is The Alto Knights, which is a 2025 American biographical crime drama film directed by Barry Levinson and written by Nicholas Pileggi. Now, in this movie, the plot follows a failed assassination attempt orchestrated by his ambitious underboss, Vito Genvos. Luciano family boss Frank Costello finds himself at a crossroads. Wary of the constant bloodshed and betrayals that define his life, Costello informs Genovese of his intention to retire and cede control of the Luciano family. However, Vito, a man consumed by ambition and paranoia, refuses to believe Costello's intentions, suspecting a ruse. The poisoned well of distrust between them spills over, igniting a silent, deadly war. Let's have a look.
Where do I start? You're going down a very dangerous road. And we ain't been down dangerous roads before. But that's the risk you take. Me, I take
But you're not where I am. I give to charities, I pay my taxes.
Let's remember something. I put you where you are today. It's because of me. Mr. Good Citizen, you want to be like them? Come on, you ain't like them. They own this country. They're bigger gangsters than we ever could be. All of a sudden, you want to be half in, half out, half a racketeer? You can't have it both ways. You're either in or you're out.
You must have seen who shot you.
The man took a shot at his own boss.
We just grew up together. Frank sometimes forgets where he comes from.
You're more fly off the handle.
Make sure he's dead. Bang, 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 bang.
I don't want to make a lot of noise.
No noise? It's a fucking gun.
What happens now?
I'm gonna retire.
Now, they brought you The Irishman, they brought you Goodfellas, and now they have brought you The Alto Knights. However, if you're the kind of person who only watches movies because after what critics' reviews say, this movie had mixed reviews from the critics, and it was a box office bomb, grossing $9 million against its estimated $45 million budget, and it lost Warner Bros. Millions of dollars. However, the movie is starring none other than Robert De Niro as Frank Costello and also Vito Genovese. He's having a dual role in the movie. And then we have Deborah Messing as Bobby Costello, Frank's wife, and Cosmo Jarvis as Vincent Gigante, a rising soldier in the Vito family. Catherine Narducci as Anna Genovese, Vito's wife, among others. And the movie was released on March 21st, 2025. So there you have it, the movies you can look out for this weekend. Though I should say something. Critics' reviews do not really tell whether you will enjoy the movie or not. So go ahead and look at them and you might find that you will enjoy them despite the mixed reviews. My name is Olive Monica Najuma. I will catch you again on Monday. But Ruben Pima is here for sports updates.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, There exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. BPAS Matters. UBC. Inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.